So here we are on just after sunset. Look at that. Now that little gap where you can see the horizon on the left, that's Lake Huron. You're looking out through the Owen Channel into Lake Huron. We are in Rattlesnake Harbour on Fitzwilliam Island, the largest island at the entrance to Georgian Bay, and I think possibly the second largest island in Lake Huron. The largest being Manitoulin.
Yes, absolutely.
We have spent the last 24 hours here, a little bit more than 24 hours at this point. We hiked, what, 5-6 miles today?
6 miles today.
We hiked 6 miles around the island, did not see a single other person. And I can't think of a time I've ever gone to and like explored an area that you could explore in a day, right? On foot. I've never gone to some place, done that, and never seen a single other person.
This land is largely inaccessible.
We were amazed when we got here yesterday. There were no other boats in the harbor. It was Friday night.
And it is now Saturday night.
It would be
the last weekend of the summer.
You think someone, who sails around Georgian Bay and is within an easy day's sail, as we were in Tobermory, would come here for the weekend.
But no, there was nobody.
Really, it's really difficult to get away from civilization, if that's what you want to call it, to this degree. You can't do it to this degree in a motor vehicle, in an RV.
Look at that.
Think about an RV, okay, that has about the same accommodations as this boat does, right? It's probably the fat part of the curve, right? In terms of like size and everything this has comparable accommodations to a pretty nice RV.
Absolutely.
Right?
Comfortable.
I mean, like, it wouldn't be a 30-foot RV or even a 31-foot RV. It would be more like what you could get in like a 25-foot RV. Right?
Yes.
With tip outs, right? Because it's got an 11-foot beam. Now, a 25-foot RV can't go to truly remote places. It just doesn't have the capability. Anywhere
all the
where
boats
you've got
that have been produced, you'd think there would be an overabundance of them. They'd be everywhere, but we've seen very little indication of people recreating on these Great Lakes yet. The numbers verify that out on Marine Tracker. We see the majority of the vessels that are on the water, that are being tracked, are in Lake Michigan. The Huron is almost empty along with Erie, but the North Georgian...
Is our boat being tracked? Are you tracking our boat on
Only
this?
when we're within cellular distance.
Okay.
And I would sync it up. If I lose the signal, I'd have to reconnect.
Yeah.
So I never know if it's going to hold during our trip. In fact, it made it almost all the way here.
I could not believe that you could actually have a phone call
on T-Mobile
for essentially, for what, it was like 90% of our trip. You could have
a couple phone calls. Yeah,
you had phone calls.
I was on it for at least an hour.
Yeah, and
but
we're sailing across Georgian Bay, across the mouth of Georgian Bay, in a pretty remote place, increasingly remote as you head north.
And yet the signal still...
And the signal still held.
Happy to say now, Eric.
Much to my extreme irritation, by the way. But, hey, I look forward to when we could have a sail like that. When you're not talking to somebody else on the goddamn phone. Now, see, it's getting So now the eastern sky.
I'm waiting for the first stars to come out because this is going to be the night for our dark skies.
Oh, we're going to have a dark-ass sky tonight, man.
The moon's going down.
This sky is going to be like, this is going to be a dark sky like you've never seen ever. Because you've never been this far from artificial light.
Sadly, we have the big bright moon over there.
Okay, but still, the moon...
Coming up.
Yeah.
But it's all right. We're good. It's going to watch track it.
That's right. If it was like if the moon were in her third quarter or something, that'd be a much better thing for stargazing tonight and freezing our asses off.
There is still a significant, I believe, 75% humidity, humidex index.
But it really gets chilly. I mean, it's.
I feel it right now.
It was 80 degrees today.
I would doubt that.
You think it was still in the 70s?
Yeah. It felt like 80 when we were climbing that hill.
I never took this shirt off, and I never really felt... I started to feel a little bit hot wearing the shirt.
Me too, climbing up that...
Yeah.
The one slope we had, the 300 feet that would have taken us up over and all the way around, who knows where we were.
But I mean, we only explored a very tiny part of this island. Oh. I mean, this island warrants exploration, but it's huge.
Well, then we have to just go down shore and find another bay to pull into, and we're good.
Well, okay, so we could do that on South Benjamin.
Well, we'll do it there then. Yeah.
And we could, but actually, Covered Portage Cove has like incredible hiking because it's all connected in there with the pool. You know, the pool at the back at the end of Bay Fin.
Oh, the pool.
The pool is the
G-spot.
I mean, going back on the pool of Bay Fin, going through Bay Fin, you get into Bay Fin.
Now we're cooking.
Oh.
So let us.
Oh, you've never seen a place like this. You've never seen a place. I mean, Bay Fin. I mean, okay, so this is pretty damn good.
Once your face out there, let them enjoy the remainder of the set.
This is pretty damn good here. Okay. In Rattlesnake Harbor. Why is the seat wet? Is the dew already falling? To be here in Rattlesnake Harbor is pretty damn good. It really is.
Like, you know,
but you get up into the North Channel. Okay.
What's that going to be like?
Oh, you're just going to have to see it. You will see it open before you. And thinking, well, oh my God.
Here's what I can reference. The San Juan Islands of Puget Sound.
Never been there.
The Elizabeth Islands in Victoria's coast.
I've never been really to the Pacific. I mean, I've been to the Pacific Northwest a couple of times, but I never really got to like I would love to go on a cruise on Puget Sound.
Dude,
what?
Waves coming in. We're moving. Look at the boat. It's moving around the yaw. It's doing right now. It's measurable. We're really cooking.
Is the wind shifting?
It's coming in off from the west. We're getting some. We had cat paws, and now we have.
I feel a slight breeze coming in from the west.
It's quite evident on the water. Viewers, see those waves coming in? They're rocking us.
So now the boat's going to swing.
They're pushing the bow.
I'm really glad we have the whole harbor to ourselves.
The
really, this is except that they
hey, don't accept nothing.
The point.
Well, let it go.
Rattlesnake Point is all trashed up.
It should all be old growth with no.
Yeah.
And you already gave the good idea of it being a park. It's not there yet, but they're going to reseed it, replant it. They need to. Future generations.
I mean, we
will
found
want those
so
trees.
Much junk. I mean, there's all those old trucks. I mean,
that's just in the last. That's just from our lifetimes.
Was that just from logging?
From our lifetimes.
Okay, so that maple grove up there was all those little trees.
Yes.
I bet they had clear cut that.
Yes. Yeah. That's evidence of that. The very fact that we had those show that though they're a succession species, but they are eventually replaced by the hardwoods that were cut down. Yeah. But they have to grow first.
But look, if you're gonna do that, clean up after yourselves. God.
Well, I don't.
I mean, that was really a shame what we saw over here today when we were hiking. You know, I mean, I thought it was bad enough that they had sort of cut this giant road, right? That there's no. I was hoping that there'd just be like nice, well manicured hiking trails.
It was
you know,
a road. No, right. I thought it would be beautiful single track.
Yeah,
and we'll get to that. We're not there yet.
Yeah,
that was an old. They've done nothing to try to make this ecologically friendly or sustainable, or even put it on the map as a place to come to.
Well, see, that's the thing. You don't want it on the map as a place to come to. I mean, we may actually be causing a lot more people to come here because we're sitting here in Rattlesnake Harbor, which, by the way, we didn't see a single rattlesnake today, okay? We made lots of noise, we sang and we talked and we stomped around.
David,
and so
I saw a snake today, if you recall.
Oh, in that truck. It was in the truck.
Nearly bit me. I surprised it. It surprised me. I put my hand down on the passenger seat, and out of the crack between the seat back and the cushion emerged this 2-foot-long black snake.
Oh my God!
Didn't threaten me with a rattling tail or hiss or come up with giant vipers.
It was probably a non-venomous snake that was just scared.
It was taking advantage of the solar gain in that truck's cabin.
Yeah, he was basking in it, man.
Yes,
he loved it. Oh yeah, this is, it's like
just like our salon down below the companionway. It's very comfortable. Why wouldn't you want to be in a place like that?
Of course. I mean, part of the pleasure of owning a sailboat, if you own a good sailboat, is that the cabin, the main saloon, just down below. That it's just so nice down below. You go down below, you've got everything you need. It's beautifully designed, right? It's warm.
You could be working here right tomorrow with your contract. Both of us could be.
And Starlink.
Making enough with Starlink and posting and prepping for the next year's sail. We're already planning, right?
Yeah.
August is almost gone. We've got a couple more. We got another month.
Well,
before the boat's going up.
Sometimes,
on the hard.
I'll bet you that September is the best time to cruise the North Channel. The first 2 weeks. First 2 weeks after Labor Day, right?
Yeah,
those 2 weeks after Labor Day. It's going to be great in the North Channel.
What also is different about where we are now, as we drift about on our anchor, is the ever-changing thing. We've all of a sudden now our stern is still going eastward. So some countercurrents are pushing the bow back towards the sun.
Well, or it's just when the center
it was yawing the other direction though.
When the center of windage, like hits, wherever that is, and that's and the center of gravity is forward of that, then
we're both sitting here.
Then that's going to just pivot the boat as it's doing right now.
I see.
It's pivoting,
right.
The boat is turning, but it's pivoting around, so the stern's going one way and the bow's going another.
Oh. Yes.
Now that anchor line is like way out to the side, right? Can't you see it now going off to the side? Yeah, I see it going off to the side. Oh wait, no, that's the Jenny sheet. Yeah.
The jib sheet.
But I think that the
Oh, I see it. Oh yeah, it's very obvious now. Going off to starboard.
It goes off to starboard.
Yeah.
Because the hook's over there.
Yes.
And yet the boat is pivoting, turning to face completely sideways to the anchor line. Can you shine a light on it?
Oh yeah. No, I left the phone back on the pad.
Oh, don't bring it. You can see it there.
I can.
You can see it there, and I'm sure the camera picks it up.
I can see it underneath the surface.
So it's the anchor line's actually going off that way to starboard.
Star's gonna come out.
Even though the boat has pivoted around, it's just sort of pivoted.
First star, I see.
Just taken because the anchor line is basically exerting no force on the boat is literally just sitting out here.
Yes.
with nothing to really keep it from drifting in any one direction, as long as it doesn't drift too far, then the anchor line will catch it.
Right, but that's not been happening. It's not been a problem so far.
But then last night, you know, the wind becomes the strongest force on the boat that the anchor has to overcome. But tonight it's just kind of, now I'm feeling a little breeze now that I didn't feel before.
We were pulled over hard, 45 degrees on the anchor line when we woke up this morning. Wind coming right out of the northeast.
Yeah.
I knew.
No, we swung more than that.
More than that?
We swung like 120. We swung like 120 degrees.
Yes.
And we were getting. I thought we were getting a little bit too close to those, especially to those old pilings there. And so we moved the boat. We actually started the engine.
That's right.
And we motored forward and we picked up the anchor this morning. And then we motored. I was trying to get us tucked into the northeast corner of the harbor.
Oh.
Right? Is that, yeah, up there, because that's where we had anchored before. Mm-hmm. And so you motored us, and I was starting to see the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking, okay, well, that's probably about 8 feet of water. So that was a good place to drop the anchor, and then I had you back off with. That was a nice little. That was good.
Does it feel like we're on a river cruise and the whole thing is going by? Can you see the rapid change?
You know.
Do you see us yawing big time?
You know.
Look at any of the tree, and the trees will be superimposed against the ones behind them.
Well, see, they're all. We're pretty much dead set. We're dead in the center of the harbor.
Yeah.
As far as I can see here, the trees there are a little bit lower because that's the isthmus. Yes. I mean, how far was it from the edge of the harbor to the shore there on Georgian Bay? I mean, how far was that? Maybe 50 yards?
Correct.
So
half a football.
So yeah, Georgian Bay is just over just a 50-yard strip of land right there.
Mm-hmm.
But then you know, it's almost like this is another island, because there's another whole thing. This is like a big sort of like a kind of like a conehead crescent shaped island.
But it's not like the Huron, which is, you know, look how we've got perfect protection.
Yeah.
In this cove here, the wind's been coming up.
I mean, you've got a little bit of exposure there, but really that island, that little island there, which is called Little Island, has a reef that goes, you know, from there. I mean, there's bad water in there.
I saw that.
And that acts like a breakwater.
So did we come in
to
the north or south of that island? We came in south of it, right?
Well, we came
around it. We didn't go near right by the point.
We passed halfway between the island and the point here.
Oh.
Coming in.
Okay.
Okay. So we actually passed to the east of it.
I see it. I'm looking at it now. Wow, look at that canopy. It really goes up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that's right. Ooh, look at that. Looking at our own little.
Now looks like there's a cloud bank way in the distance over Lake Huron.
Coming our way, huh?
Could be.
Okay, there's the pier. There's the shadow of.
But this really is just. It's like, wow.
Can't wait for those stars.
There's nothing. There's nothing here but us, you know, in terms of, well, that us and all that junk over there. The boat's moving. The boat keeps moving, man.
Now the waves have returned. You can see the pulsing of them coming, rocks.
Mm-hmm. Very gently.
Sometimes we'll get a bunch of waves that'll be like. Pop, 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 pop.
I'll let you get rocked to sleep here in Rattlesnake Harbor. This is this was my first anchorage in Georgian Bay when I was a kid. This is the first anchorage that we came to. The first time that I came, that I was ever in Georgian Bay. We stopped here and we spent a couple days here because the weather was really bad. It was blowing way harder than it was today.
Mm-hmm.
And it was coming bang out of the east.
Wow.
And there were big waves. There were big waves coming in.
There's another one. Second. I think that's Arcturus. Arcturus.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I see dozens more behind it.
You should see the Big Dipper somewhere. Anyway.
So what I want to see is the choo-choo train of Starlink satellites that are going in low Earth orbit. You can see them, 21 of them in a row, perfectly spaced.
Fuck.
Like a train of them shoot across the sky. I've not seen those. A friend reported seeing them though. My brother saw them rather. In the front yard of his house. He just looked up one night and what the hell is that? Yeah, it's his military buddies and State Department Aviation told him. Now he waits for them to come over and then goes out and shows them.
Imagine what a pain in the ass it is for astronomers, you know, for ground-based astronomers. Now, you know, the Webb telescope is getting all the press now, right? And that was an impressive achievement.
My God.
To put that thing out there. That was like you look at
humanity's most impressive.
You look at how complicated and yes, it's complex, but it's also complicated, especially just getting it deployed out there.
That's right. And to be delivering such stellar telemetry.
Oh my God, it's like
stellar telemetry.
It's just wow. The images are incredible, and they're confounding astronomers, which is what's supposed to happen, right?
Exactly.
And it's like, oh yeah, this tells us everything that we knew was right.
There might be a fifth force to be discovered besides the ones we already have. A fifth state of matter.
This is going to be look how tranquil. It isn't just this harbor that's tranquil, the whole lake. You know, the wind died down and I don't hear any waves. I don't hear anything. This is going to be like complete silence out here. It's going to be dark and it's going to be quiet. I mean, we didn't see any animals on the island. We saw,
dead one.
We saw that dead fox or whatever that was.
And we saw, what else? I saw a black squirrel.
You saw a squirrel?
Something like that.
Huh.
It may have been a mole.
I didn't see.
Gopher. Something was.
I didn't see. I mean, we heard a few birds.
And we did hear a snake slither away. I thought, what you heard as a cricket? I heard as a snake moving away.
Okay, well maybe that was.
I'm like, oh, I was.
I guess that's enough to call it Rattlesnake Harbor, right?
Yeah, but in neither case were there any rattles being invoked.
It was some kind of. I wasn't sure whether it was a snake. It didn't sound like a snake to me. It had a different quality to it.
Okay, that's fair.
But who knows what it was? Anyway, and you know, no harm, no foul.
Okay, so another thing that top 10 things that we were told we would be expecting is we'd be eaten alive. And let's knock on this beautiful teak.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sure we had some stable flies doing their power mowers on us.
You know the least bad I've seen. I mean, we had days where it's like, holy fuck, these flies are gonna just because we're just like we're just losing our minds out there. Because the winds are pretty light. You know,
and they're feasting on you.
And we're motoring, and the fucking flies are out to eat us alive.
And they get in the gravity well or the wind-free zone
Oh,
below.
once a fly that makes it to the cockpit, you know, he thinks he's really lucked out there.
Maybe a second or third cockpit in his life, maybe.
Possibly, I would think. Probably first, because I don't think flies get blown across a large body of water more than once in their short lives. I mean, maybe the same fly could get blown across both Lake Michigan and Lake Huron.
We did really well on that little craft. It's almost as wide as the boat.
What is?
As the stern.
Oh, the dinghy.
Right? The dinghy. I mean, it's quite big.
It's a great thing, man.
Oh, people are like, oh, you're getting a dinghy.
And we sailed like hell, and there's no trouble. I mean, the bow bridle works great.
And the drag on the boat was negligible.
Yeah. We're still hitting 7 knots, right?
8.
Oh,
this read 8.
8.05?
I thought it said 8.1. Oh.
I just kind of remember like going through the different modes, and like the max was 8.05.
Okay. Oh. I'm inclined to believe that was
it. But that's 8 knots, man. Now this knot meter I think runs a little bit too fast.
A little faster than that.
I mean, you know, typically, sometimes it's the same as speed over ground from the GPS. Other times it's like,
I need to go downstairs and get some warmth.
I need to do that as well.
And I may retire for the evening now, just to enjoy the